All right, in this section, we're going to go through some intermediate fills. Now, these are quite a bit trickier than the beginner ones, so if you are having trouble, you can either slow them down or go back and practice the beginner stuff. Now, there's a lot of different concepts I'm going to play in here, so I'm going to teach you a few of them before we go into it. The first one, which you've already talked about in the previous videos that I've done, a couple videos back actually, is ending with odd numbers. Now, you're going to notice that the first three fills are very similar to the ones in the beginner, and you might be thinking, well, why are these in the intermediate? And I almost put them in the beginner, but what I was noticing is you're going to end with the bass drum. And on the video I talked about ending with odd numbers, I teach how you can come out of a fill that ends in the bass drum, crashing right back into the beat. So these might look easy, but they're actually not, because you actually have to play a group of 5 or a group of 7 just to crash back into your actual beat. So in saying that, go back, practice how to end in odd numbers if you haven't already, then tackle 1, 2, and 3. Moving right along, we have fill number 5. Now this one is one of my favorite hand-to-feet combination patterns, and it's similar to a 6-stroke roll. It's not exactly what you're going to be playing, but in my mind, the way I think about it, I think of it as a 6-stroke roll moving from the snare, toms, and bass drum. It's a really cool pattern. I'm going to show you how it's played on here. Practice this hand-to-feet combination pattern. Then, when you go to the fill, you'll have no problem with it. So check this out. So as you can see, that is a very cool hand-to-feet combination pattern that I've written there, and it flows really well. Once you practice this, fill number 5 is going to be no problem for you. Moving on to fill number 9, you're going to notice that it's a very basic hand-to-foot combination pattern. Again, it's just 2 on the bass drum and 2 on the sticks. But what's tricky about this one is we're going to actually switch it up. So instead of just playing the same right, left, kick, kick, right, left, kick, kick, we're going to switch it up. So it's going to be a left, right, kick, kick, right, left, kick, kick. Right, left, kick, kick, left, right, kick, kick. We're going to alternate those two. So I'm going to show you what that means. I'm going to show you how it looks. And then when you play it, you'll understand what I'm doing. Here we go. So that's how it looks. It's a bit trickier to get that flow going when you're switching from your left hand to your right hand, but if you practice it up, it should come no problem. There is one other way you can do this if you do not like going with your left hand and your right hand alternating. You can start with your left on the snare, play the pattern, and then before you repeat it with your tom hand again, move your left hand over to the tom. So you're kind of going underneath and playing the same hand lead, just switching the positions. Let me show you what that looks like, and if this works better for you, play it this way. It kind of looks cool too, and to the viewer, they might think you're doing something really tricky. The way I'm going to play it though is alternating with your leads. It's a bit trickier for me to do, and I find it opens me up to be able to move that all around the kit. Because if I want to hit the ride cymbal, it's going to be a lot harder for me to move my left hand over to the ride than it is to just switch my lead and play with my right hand. right, I hope you enjoyed those fills. There's some really neat ideas in there. Take them to your kit, try to play them in your own music, try to make them your own. I'll see you on the advanced section.